Hey everybody, this is Doug Kenny from Stories from Motorsports. I hope everyone's having a good day. Today I'm pleased to be let me try that again. Hey everybody, this is Doug Kenny and I welcome you to Stories from Motorsports. I want to thank my buddy Josh Mabe for the YouTube work he did years ago that inspired me to create this platform. I want to thank my buddy Victor Sifton for his impact on me. Okay, close. Almost got it. Let's get this. Let's finish this. Hey everybody, this is Doug Kenny and I welcome you to Stories from Motorsports. I'd like to thank my buddy Josh Mabe for the YouTube work he did years ago that inspired me to create this platform. I want to thank Victor Sifton for inspiring me to get back into it after a 2-year break when I first got started. And everybody, I have a great guest to share with you today. Gentlemen, drivers, start your engines. Okay, all right. One more time. Hey everybody, this is Doug Kenny and I welcome you to Stories from Motorsports. I'd like to thank I'm just there. Hey everybody, this is Doug Kenny and I welcome you to Stories from Motorsports. I'd like to thank my buddy Josh Mabe for the work he did on YouTube that inspired me to create this platform. And I'd like to thank my buddy Victor Sifton for the impact he had on me in convincing me to go forward with it after my hiatus from 2017 to 19. And everybody, I have a very special treat for you all, as always. Drivers, start your engines. Okay. All right. Hey everybody, this is Doug Kenny and I welcome you to Stories from Motorsports. I'd like to thank my buddy Josh Mabe for the YouTube work he did years ago that inspired me in 2017 to create this platform. And I'd like to thank my buddy Victor Sifton for the impact he left on me and his urge. Okay, now, one more time. Hey everybody, this is Doug Kenny and I welcome you to Stories from Motorsports. I'd like to thank my buddy Josh Mabe for the YouTube work he did years ago that led to me creating the... No. Okay, good. Hey everybody, this is Doug Kenny from Stories from Motorsports. Okay, no. How am I gonna... Sorry about this, guys. Hey everybody, this is Doug Kenny from Stories from Motorsports. I'd like to thank my buddy Josh Mabe for the YouTube work he did years ago that inspired me to create this platform. I'd like to thank my buddy Victor Sifton for convincing me to get back into it after my hiatus from 2017 to 2019. I have a very special treat for you all today with an amazing journey from an amazing racing figure. Drivers, start your engines. Finally got it.
Hey followers, today I'm interviewing Jasper Motorsports team owner Doug Bawel, and I cannot wait to see how it turns out because he always seemed very nice to me. So let's see. I'm going to call him right now very quick. Let's see. Come on, where's the email? Okay, let's see. All right. Alrighty, now let's see.
Thank you for calling Jasper Engines and Transmission. If you know your party's extension, press it at any time. Para ayuda en español, please hold while I transfer your call.
Hey Doug, this is Douglas Kenny, the guy that we agreed to do a phone conference with. Are you available for it right now?
I am, sir. Go right ahead.
Alrighty, cool. It means a lot to me to be talking to you because I always liked the Jasper team that you fielded in the Cup Series.
Well, thank you very much.
Alrighty, so I have a list of questions, and hopefully you have the answer for them, and it's about 15 of them, or 18 so far it looks like. So my first question is, what made you get into motor racing?
Well, to us, that was just a natural progression of what races and does well on Sunday sells well on Monday. And initially, for the first 2 years, we were a sponsor only and realized very quickly that if we were going to do this, we wanted to do it with our own powertrain. So in the early 80s, we began our own engine division. We were already doing the transmissions and differentials as well.
Ooh, that's cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. So my next question after that is, what was owning a Cup Series team like in the 1990s?
Well, it was extremely competitive. Back in the 90s, the sport to me was at an all-time high. And every weekend you'd have 47-plus teams show up trying to make the field, and only the top 43 would actually qualify and make the race. Quite different than what we have today. There were many racetracks that you literally could not ever get a seat to unless you were grandfather tickets, and they just didn't even have general admission tickets. The likes would be Bristol and Martinsville and Daytona and Talladega and places like that. So it was extremely competitive, and that made for a lot of fun, but that also made for a few gray hair.
Nice. That's really cool. So yeah, that I would have to agree with you on that. The top 43 drivers ever in existence making the race. Yep. So what was Waltrip Jasper Racing run out of the Bill Davis Racing shop in 2006?
No, that actually, well, it may have been physically the old Bill Davis shop, but Michael Waltrip, wanted to field his own team, and he knew that, if he didn't have points to carry into the next year, so he approached us, would we be willing to sell him the number? So he ran the number 77 for a very short period of time, then converted over to 55. But if Michael hadn't done that, he would not have made the Daytona race that year.
Oh. That makes a lot of sense, because before NASCAR had the charter system in place, it was the points that got you in the race.
Correct. So, you had enough, that they carried, points over from the previous year, and, we were, I don't know, 18th or whatever points. So that allowed him that, if he didn't make it on qualifying or twin 125 speeds, he would make the race on points.
That makes a lot of sense. And what made you select Robert Presley as your driver?
Well, Harry Gant handpicked Robert Presley, and he had an unprecedented, absolutely fantastic success in then it was, the Busch Series. And Robert had that down-home atmosphere that seemed to relate extremely well with our customer base, primarily of independent garage owners across the country.
Ah, that makes a lot of sense. I interviewed Robert Presley a couple years ago, and he was very nice.
Yeah, he's quite a guy.
Yeah. What was your reaction to the tough years of 1998 and 1999 in Winston Cup when you guys DNQ'd a couple times?
Well, I can remember like it was yesterday. I want to say we finished second at Texas with Robert, and we're getting ready to head to Bristol, and that was a track that he struggled with in some qualifying. And when people say it was just a fluke that we finished second in that race, well, I need to go back. Was that when Robert was driving for us?
That was when Robert was, yeah.
Yeah. So, that's what I'm saying. Those were the tough times. Now, you show up and you're pretty well guaranteed a starting spot.
Yeah. That says a lot about the charter system. So,
yes.
Was hiring Ryan Pemberton influenced by your team's rough years those years?
Absolutely. And Robert sort of kind of handpicked Ryan and really thought that he could take him to that next level, but it really never happened.
Okay.
So I can remember being in Michigan prior to the Chicago race and sharing with Robert that we're going to tell you up front, we're not going to renew your contract. Doesn't mean we may not come back to you and want to share another contract with you, but we're letting you know right now that, you're on the bubble. And the next week he goes and finishes second at Chicagoland.
Oh, I see. So that's really interesting. So it was the race before Chicago that he announced that he wasn't gonna be part of the team again, or that you announced it.
We announced to him. We didn't announce it to the world, but we announced to Robert that hey, we're just not continuing to make the games that we need to, and you might want to start looking because we're going to be looking.
Okay, that makes sense. So what was your reaction when Robert finished second at Chicago?
Why didn't we do this 6 months prior?
I can imagine.
I mean, you hate to say that, but do drivers become a little comfortable at times, and when they know that they're on the bubble, that do they step it up a little bit?
Yeah, and he also finished in the top 10 a lot frequently in the chase, if I remember right.
Absolutely.
So that's the comfort level in it. So
exactly.
So I guess that covers my next question already, which was originally what was the reason for Presley's departure, but I think you covered that already, so I'll move to the next one. What was the reason for bringing Dave Blaney aboard the team?
Well, Dave, there again, he had an unprecedented career in the sprint car series, and we really watched him when he was over at Bill Davis's team, of some of the success that he had there, and we felt that we had a better powertrain system to offer him than what he had over Bill Davis. But I think what we learned after the fact, when you take a sprint car driver, and some people say, well, what about Tony Stewart? Well, Tony wasn't just a sprint car driver. I mean, he did the IRL series or the Indy series, whatever you want to refer to it as, and they have a hard time understanding it's a 500-mile race or it's a 400-mile race. And so they don't, respect their equipment enough to know that, okay, this next series is going to be a little tough. I'm just going to have to hang in there and bide my time, and we'll come and make adjustments so that the next, round before pits is going to be better.
Okay. That makes sense. What did Dave Blaney say after witnessing the tremendous duel between Ricky Craven and Kurt Busch?
I can remember that like it was yesterday, going down the back stretch and watching it on the monitor and seeing those two start bumping, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, we got a chance on this. They're going to take one another out. And if you remember correctly, when they went into turn 3, I mean, he was right on their bumper. And I think at that point in time, those two said, you know what, we better slow this thing down because we're going to take it out, and Dave's going to win the race.
Oh. So that was probably your team's nearest miss in the Cup Series then?
Yeah. I mean, at Chicagoland, Robert pushed Kevin Harvick, into the turn, but Kevin, brake checked him a little bit and then got back on the gas quicker than Robert could, and he just, rocket shipped off of turn 2 to come down the back stretch, and he had so many car lengths ahead of us, we just couldn't catch him.
That makes sense. What was your reason for merging with Penske Racing?
Well, that was interesting. Prior to that, we were building engines for only ourselves and along with the Busch team that we were leasing some to. Roger was building engines for his 2 teams, and we had some business dealings prior to that, and we approached him and said, Roger, is there any interest in putting these things together? And so then he offered me the opportunity to serve as the operating manager of Penske-Jasper engines. And we put the three teams together. We had spent a lot of time and energy working on the bottom end of the engine, and they had spent a lot of time working on the top end of the engine. So it worked extremely well. So after that, Roger was able to get an interest from Tide of making a change. I'm sorry, of Kodak of making a change, and he knew that he couldn't, get a whole other team up and operational. We had a team. It was going to be underfunded the first couple of years because Kodak was going through some financial issues, and so literally Roger and I put the deal together in Phoenix, Arizona's car dealership right before the Phoenix race.
Ah, cool. Yeah.
All on a handshake.
What was that?
All on a handshake.
Oh, all on a handshake. Yeah, that's kind of cool that we can still do handshake deals. That's really cool. When you merged,
it took about 5 months to, go through all the legal proceedings and get everything done. But that's the type of guy Roger Penske is. I mean, he's a man of his word, and he's just a super class act.
Yeah, I have tremendous respect for him. He's a great team owner. When you merged with Penske Racing, did your team operate out of the Jasper shop or the Penske shop?
We operated out of the Jasper shop for a couple of years before Roger bought his new shop, where today both the Cup, when he runs the Xfinity Series, and the IndyCar Series out of there, and then they do some other series out of there as well. I don't remember if it's the Le Mans or GTP, but whatever that other series is that he's in, they run it out of that shop.
Ah, okay. What was working with Brendan Gaughan like?
Brendan was a character. Brendan came from the desert racing, and then from there he had a very successful career in the then Busch Series side. And he was fearless. He spoke both English and Spanish because of growing up in the hotel business, and did well with both sets of customers, and walking on the shop floor here in Indiana and Missouri and talking to our people. And to this day, Brendan, Robert Presley, Dave Blaney, we still talk. We're all friends.
Ah, okay. And what was the reason you replaced him with Travis Quapple?
Well, that was a Roger Penske deal. Roger just didn't think that Brendan could win a championship. And Roger's all about winning a championship. He's got enough wins and top tens. He wants drivers that he believes can win the championship. And he did not feel that Brendan had that ability. And, I think Roger's probably proven himself out. He didn't have. Travis came on very strong. He was a very smart driver, but I think some personal issues, et cetera, got in the way, and he never really made it big time.
Yeah. He was good in the truck series, but that's pretty much it. What was your reason for merging with Michael Waltrip Racing?
Well, we really didn't merge. We were shutting the team down because we lost Kodak, and Roger and I both had decided that we weren't going to fund it ourselves, and he was going to go back just to doing two teams, and I was going to go back to just managing the engine shop and looking for some other engine customers, which we did for another couple of years before I actually got out of the business. And just when the Car of Tomorrow came out, we knew we had a very, very short window to come up with a brand new transmission. So when that happened, we really focused our energy in coming up with a brand new transmission for NASCAR.
Okay. What was working with Michael Waltrip like for that period of time?
We had no interest. It was just selling the points to him for Michael to use.
Okay. Alrighty. So that's really all it was. It was just selling the points. There was nothing to
Correct.
All right.
No, I never went to a race. never was even at their race shop until they closed it and began selling off assets, and we bought some of their assets.
Alrighty. That's all I have as far as questions. I really appreciate the time you made for me.
Well, you're most welcome, and best of success to you.
No problem, and when the book comes out, I'll let you know.
Thank you.
Alrighty,
Bye-bye.
bye. That was very thrilling. What a very nice guy, and he's definitely someone I'll talk to again. Thank you all for joining me. He's a very nice guy and very cool. And this is what I want to do. I want to keep doing interviews, Interviews are what I want to do. Thanks to him.
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please hit like and subscribe if you did so, and please continue supporting our amazing guest. And everybody, we'll see you next time on SFM.
Hi, this is Ted Warner speaking. While the checkered flag has waved for this program, stay tuned for next week for the next episode of SFM. Thanks to Doug Kenny for what he does for motorsports.